What's going on, everybody? We're back again. This time, I'm going to just do a little bit of the podcast by myself. Brother Jarvis is tied up, so he's going to have to handle it next week. Anyway, so I was looking at an article today, and I see that Goldman Sachs is going to invest $10 billion with a B to support black women. And other banks are also getting ready to join the fray. So, let me read a little bit of the article. Goldman Sachs said Wednesday it will invest more than $10 billion in an initiative to improve the economic standing of black women over the next decade. So what is that? $1 billion a decade? Not bad. $1 billion a year, not bad. In the latest effort on Wall Street to address equity as the financial industry has come under pressure amid a nationwide reckoning over race. The bank said the initiative would tackle the dual disproportionate gender and racial biases that black women have faced for generations, which have only been exacerbated by the pandemic. Through investments in job creation, housing, healthcare, education, and access to capital, the initiative aims to impact 1 million black women by 2030. It would also set aside $100 million for philanthropic causes focused on black women. As an industry that has long been dominated by white men, Wall Street has faced increasing scrutiny over its track record on diversity in recent years. That scrutiny has grown significantly since protests erupted last summer over the death of George Floyd, a black man who died as a Minneapolis police officer kneeled on his neck. U.S. banks contributed to inequality for years, though now illegal policies like redlining, in which they refuse to invest in low-income, mostly black neighborhoods. Other major U.S. banks over the past year pledged to pump billions of dollars into racial equality efforts, particularly as studies have continued to show that minority communities have been hit the hardest by COVID-19 pandemic and its effects on the economy. J.P. Morgan Chase announced in October it would invest $30 billion over the next 5 years to provide resources for minority-owned businesses, but minority-owned meaning black women, and increase access to home loans and other financial resources for black and Latino Americans. In June, Bank of America said it would put $1 billion toward an effort to expand economic opportunities for communities of color through healthcare, jobs, support to small businesses, and affordable housing. We focused on all these areas because there are systemic long gaps have existed and where significant change is required for progress to occur and to be sustained. Vanessa Cook, a senior vice president of media relations at Bank of America, said in a statement to Forbes. Morgan Stanley, which has faced 2 high-profile racial discrimination lawsuits in recent years that it denied wrongdoing in, said it gave $5 million to the NAACP Legal Defense and Education Fund in response to racial injustice, and matched all U.S. employee donations to the organization. The bank also spent $25 million to launch an initiative responsible for setting policy, putting in place metrics, and overseeing the mentoring, development, and promotion of diverse employees and driving change externally. That was the article. That was just a little bit of the article in Forbes about the banks getting ready to put money into the hands of black women. Now, what you ask yourself is, why are these banks getting ready to put all this money into the hands of black women? Why? For what purpose? And are you hating because, are you mad that they're putting this money into the hands of black women? No. We just know that whenever something comes from certain people, there's always a string on it. Maybe, black women will look at it and say, we don't care nothing about the string. But as black men, we know that you don't get into something for nothing. So there's a string somewhere. We just got to find that string and see if it's worth the gift that they're giving. So why would major banks in America give billions of dollars to black women? Why? Let's think about that. What purpose would that serve to them? Well, they know if they give it to black men, we may go crazy and decide we'll take that money and build a community with it. So they don't have to worry about that with black women. They know if they give black women $10 billion, they're going to get it back, because black women will take it and give it right back to them. So they don't have to worry about where it's going to go. Plus, they're not giving real money. They're going to give made up money, because the banks have the okay from the government to be able to create digital money. So they're not going to take investor dollars and stockholder dollars and give it to the women. They're going to create digital money. Okay, no problem. But in the long run, they know that most likely black women will probably bring that money back to them. There's no knock on black women. It's just they like to shop. They like certain level of, for the most part, they like a certain level of, what's the word I want to use? Well, they like a brand recognition in what they buy, and usually it's in more European brands that they are willing to, put their money into. Plus, they're most likely to follow the script or the string that comes along, the script that comes along with the money. Black women are probably more likely to follow, not having as much testosterone, but it'll still have some, but not as much testosterone as black men. They're probably going to take the money and, they're less likely to invest overseas, try to, build a bridge to other countries. They probably will. And the most important reason is that it takes pressure off of the Democratic Party, because they'll be able to say, Biden got me this $10 million. I'm going to tell all my friends, vote for Biden. And that way, Biden can do another 4 years if he lives, if God wanted him to live that long. And so, or if Biden for some reason doesn't want to run next term and decides to hand the whole thing over to Kamala Harris, she was right there. She will get the benefits of this windfall. Now, how? Let's take a educated guess. How did billions of dollars being pumped into the black community without black men work when Lyndon Johnson did it? And he did it primarily for the same reason, right? I'm going to get these so-and-sos to vote Democratic for the next 200 or 300 years, right? Okay, so this is pretty much going to be kind of the same thing because, like I'll say, they'll say, well, some women will say, well, you hating on us getting this money. Not hating on you getting the money. Not hating on you getting the money. Get the money. Do it, do whatever you got to do. But my problem is that I know as a man, there's a string on the end of anything coming from the federal government. There's typically a string on it, or stop. Not only the federal government, but coming from the world banking system. It's never really that situation was never set up for us to win. So I know that there's a string on attached to that. So just like when billions of dollars were pumped into the black women's hands through welfare, this is a similar situation. And conditions were set. Now, same thing. There will be conditions set for this $10 billion or the billions, whatever, however many billions they pump into the hands of black women. There will be conditions set there. And many of those conditions will leave black men out in the cold. Okay? That's how it's got to happen. But we just want you to see it up front. Don't think this is a gift from Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. This is not a gift. It's actually, this is just a down payment on voting Democratic for your lifetime, for your whole lifetime. It's a down payment for black women. Black women, he knows that black women got him in the office this time. And so this can help him get back in office if he runs again, or like we said, if Donald Trump runs head to head with Kamala Harris, which will most likely be the situation. I don't see Biden trying to go after a second term, in his late 80s. So, we shall see. We shall see. But however, how is this for those of us with our boots on the ground, black men? What does this mean for us? What does this mean for us? If the banks are going to be giving all this money to black women, what are you going to be doing when they're giving all this money to black women? And whoever holds the purse holds control. And if black women are holding on to $10 billion, and they've been pledged $10 billion, at least $10 billion, a lot more is on the line here. What does that mean for us as black men? How is this going to affect us? For the women, it'll be great. How's it going to affect us? And how's it going to affect black relationships? If most of the women have most of the money, then whoever has the money can push their program. So if the black women have the money or the access to the money, how are we going to build strong black men if we're going to have to be in a subordinate situation, business-wise, income-wise, in the black community? Well, we're already there now. So we see how this experiment has been a royal failure as far as relationships go. We went from having uh, 75% of marriages staying together in the 60s to now in the 2000s, we have 25 or less percent of marriages making it past 7 years. And all this progress that we so-called progress that we have in women's situation, which is good in the workplace and good in the workplace and safety, but in relationships, in relationship intimate relationships, we are failing miserably. And this 10 billion, instead of being given to black people, black families, it's been given just to support black women. And why? Because if you was to give black men $10 billion, you can't. It's more difficult to control what black men would do with $10 billion than what black women can do with $10 billion. Black women would typically get this money right back in the form of purchases, different things they're willing to buy. Once they get the income, they're going to give it right back. So it's not. They're going to actually turn this into debt. It's going to turn this into debt. So it sounds like a good thing up front, and they always make it sound good in the beginning. It always sounds good, right? It always sounds like you're getting a deal. But you got to watch, you got to watch these folks, man. These folks will, there's always a string in it. There's always a string in it. And your job is to find the strings and see if it's worth the strings. If it's worth going through worth the strings that's attached. Because in the long run, you know what you're going to do to help your people. Fine. But if not, don't be surprised. Because when you get all the way out here and you go and you take this money from these people, then it go left, then you be crying, come save us, black men, come save us. We fell for the okie doke, and now we're drowning in debt. And what are we going to be able to say? Oh, we told you. We told you to look this over before you jumped into that. We told you to investigate it before you just take that money. So this just proves, like I said, man, this just proves that we as black men, we are on our own, especially those of us that really want to improve the black community and the relationships, and we are on our own. We are on our own. If they would just give half of this money to black families, man, but people will start getting married overnight. People would start trying to accept their responsibility if they knew they was going to get something for it. Because some of our people are crazy like that. They want to see a material benefit for doing what they're supposed to be doing anyway, right? Okay, but so if they just did that, a lot of these women would, they rewarded, what they're going to do is reward black women for being single moms and turning their noses up on relationships. They're going to reward that because they already been doing it. This is just sugar on top. And I'm just saying it because, like I said, please don't call me a hater. Get the money, take it if you can. If you don't see no strings on it, take it. But if you see some strings, make sure you check them strings out, because you're going to get so far wrapped up in them. See, we as black men, our arms don't reach up high enough to deal with the people you're going to be working with here. We can't We ain't gonna be able to pull you off that shit once they get in the water. That's it. They gone. And we can't do nothing for you. So that's why you got to look at it and investigate, see what's happening. Anyway, I'm telling black men, man, don't worry about it. Just, we got to continue to work with each other and try to build relationships with each other so we can do business. Black women, if they decide that they want to do business with us when they get this money, fine. I feel like there's going to be some type of restrictions for them to do business with us or move that money some kind of way into where other people can build bridges across the water. I'm sure there's going to be lots of restrictions on this. So look for it. What else can I say? We gotta just keep our eyes open, and we gotta tell the truth to ourselves. Okay, we gotta tell the truth for ourselves. A lot of times, we don't want to tell the truth to ourselves, but we gotta tell the truth to ourselves. We gotta tell the truth to ourselves. Sometimes like we don't want to be like women. Like women, a woman could just say, hey, a woman could come out here 300 pounds and say, hey, I look good. I look good. And I know I look good, and I look good, and that's it. You're shaming me if you don't say I look good, right? That's what a woman could do. If you as a man was living out here in LA on Skid Row with holes in your clothes, and you said to yourself, I'm a millionaire. And you shaming me if you don't call me a millionaire. People look at you like you goddamn crazy, right? But because a woman can say whatever, hey, it's whatever. They will be supported. At some point, they will be supported. But we're not. So my point is, we're not women. So ain't no point in us lying to each other saying, oh man, it's going to be okay. It's not going to be okay. We need to be prepared that this is a bad move. Right? When the colonizers came over and took over Hawaii, you know what I mean? There was one cat, there was one dude, one Hawaiian cat was trying to tell everybody, these cats ain't all together right, man. We need to get them out of here now. He could smell that they was up to no good. But the people were so mesmerized by what they thought was generosity, what these people bringing. The trader was bringing all these gifts. They just thought, man, these people, we don't want to offend them because they just giving us so much gifts. You know what I mean? But the one dude was like, nah, man, they shellacking you they setting you up for the shellacking. You know what I'm saying? They didn't listen to that brother, the Hawaiian brother. Unfortunately, a lot of people lost their lives once they colonized Hawaii. But it is what it is. Same thing happened in Africa. Same thing happened in Ireland. Same thing happened in Egypt. Same thing happened everywhere. Same thing happened almost everywhere, right? All over Europe, all over Africa. So, what's my point? My point is, there's an old saying. The trader came in with an interpretation that they would receive gold more for their labor than they did in their own country, right? I mean, this is right there. They're giving you an interpretation that you're gonna get $10 billion of free money. All you gotta do is be a black woman, and they're just gonna write you. All you gotta do is walk up to the desk, and they're gonna write you a check, right? We know as black people, it doesn't usually work that way, right? Like before when they had the monetary programs at the black colleges, and they would have money set aside to help black students, you know what I mean? And white students thought that, hey, all you got to do is be black. You just walk in there and, oh, you're black? Here's a check. Here's money. But it doesn't work that way. It never worked that way. It was a very competitive situation. And so it wasn't just, oh yeah, anybody black? Hey, we got money coming out of our ears here. Come on, we can't give this money away fast enough. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. Maybe it does white people, but it doesn't work that way with us. It's always too little, too late, and you know what I mean. And it's just and so much to do to actually put your name in the hat. Till it's just you got to be. But anyway, like I said, let's get back to Goldman Sachs giving this money away. So, because this is Goldman Sachs, just Goldman Sachs by itself, the company says it will invest $10 billion to support black women. We don't know what that's going to look like. Sounds good, but always be having your eyes open for that string on the end, because you never know. You never know. You don't know where form of the form of that string is going to be, or those strings will be in, but there's going to be a string. If this group of people that's giving, or that's saying they're going to give this money, I'm talking about these international bankers. I mean, I haven't never known them to just be, just out of the kindness of their heart helping. So it's going to be something that they're going to get in return. We don't know what that is yet. So we got to see, once they clearly define more, what is actually this going to look like. But until then, this is my suggestion to black men. Just, don't be jealous of them. Don't say, hey man, they're giving them all this money. We should be getting money. No, they should be giving black families money. See, they should be incentivizing black families, but they're doing everything they can to not incentivize black families. They only going to support black women, where they know women are going to support their children, just not their men. So it's going to be a situation where it's just it's not going to be as simple as people say. You know what I mean? It's not going to be as simple as people say. And so we want to see how it turns out. All right. So once again, let's be happy for black women, man. Let's be happy for them. Let them get it. Hopefully they won't go for the okie doke, and when they start laying out all of these restrictions and must do's on them, and if they see some stuff that's funny, they'll be able to have the sense to be able to say, oh nah, if that's what you want us to do, then you can keep that money. Hopefully they'll be strong enough to do it. If not, it is what it is. But just remember, black women, if you take this money from these people and you get in really over your head, you're going to be so far on the ship with these people that black men going to be stuck on the beach. They ain't going to be able to get to you to help you. And you're going to be all by yourself out there. So just remember, take a look at this thing really good. This ain't no gift package for vote. It is kind of like a gift package for voting for Biden, but it is not. It's a lot of tricks in the middle of it. All right, so just be aware of that. And black men, come on, we got to get on our thing. Nobody's going to invest $10 billion into you. That's from the United States. Only people that would do something like that is somebody from another country, and they won't let nobody that would do it. They probably take down any government that would do it for you. So we're going to have to do it ourselves. Us and God, we're going to have to do it ourselves. Anyway, I greet you in peace, and be safe. And never be the aggressor. Peace.